Hey everyone, welcome back. Don here. So I've got a 2012 Jeep Wrangler. It's my wife's daily driver, certainly during the winter. We've got a couple summer cars that we play around with, but in the winter this is it. This is what she drives every day. She had an issue with this a couple nights ago where the dashboard lit up all crazy with all kinds of warnings. It doesn't run what she described as normally, and so we were able to get it home. We were able to drive it home without getting it towed, and we're going to dive in here and see what's cooking. So right now all we've got is the check engine light that's on, but there were other warning lights as described by my wife the other night when she was having trouble. So let's see what those were. With the check engine light on, you'll get codes on a scanner, the OBD2 scanner, which connects right here. There's a plug under the dash on just about any car from, I think, 94, 96, something like that. You can pick up one of these scanners for as cheap as 20 bucks. Now, you get what you pay for, I suppose. Mine's a pretty inexpensive one. I've got 3 codes on my unit. First one is a P2122. Second one is a P0123. Third one is a P0222. So I looked up those codes. P2122, low voltage at throttle position sensor. P0123 is a generic OBD2 code that is the ECM, or the electronic control module, basically the vehicle's computer system, has seen a voltage issue, right, which is indicative of the first code. Third code was voltage from throttle position sensor too low. So all in all, it's basically a voltage issue to the throttle position sensor. And before we go too deep, now one of the things that I tend to do, maybe you do too, and that is to think too deep about this, right? This could just be something simple. Going back to basics is really what we need to do. And so I'm thinking that before I dive in with replacing all kinds of sensors, I'm going to do some checking. It may indicate something as simple as a battery. And so we're going to check that out. I'm going to put a meter on the battery, and we're going to see. It sounded to me, the last couple of weeks, the Jeep has always run, it's always started, it's always been fine. But just having the familiarity, knowing my vehicle, it seems to me that the cranking of the engine as you start it was a little slower than what I would consider normal, right? And so if you're not paying attention, you wouldn't necessarily notice, but I'm weird like that. I happen to notice stuff like that. I'm going to check out the voltage at the battery. I'm betting that it's low. We're going to meter the voltage off of this battery. See where we're at. Now it's reading 14 volts. Now, normally you want a lot of voltage, right, coming out of your battery, but in this case, 14 volts would be okay if the engine was running, but it's not. It is a Chrysler Products battery. That makes me wonder if it's original. Now, I've had this car we bought it used 4 or 5 years ago. Never changed the battery. When I bought it, it was a few years old, and it only had 15,000 miles on it. And so I'm betting that that battery is original. Now I'm going to start the car and then I'm going to check the voltage with the car running and see what the voltage is. So with the engine on, the battery is reading 17.10 volts. That's way too high. When the engine's off, that battery should be sitting around 12.3, 12.5 maybe. And with the engine running, it should be up around 14 volts. Right now the voltage on that battery is way higher than it should be. And I think it's giving us a problem. Even though the error code indicates a low voltage issue at the throttle position sensor, I think the voltage, the higher voltage is just wreaking havoc on the computer, on the ECM. I'm going to try and replace the battery. Either way, I don't think it's going to be a bad thing. I think the battery's probably overdue at this point, if it is original, and it looks like it is. I have to pull it out and see if there's a date code on it. But I think it's original, which would put it 8-9 years old now. I'm going to take this battery out now, bring it with me to the parts store, and that will allow me to have it recycled, but also there's a core charge that I'll get a discount on the replacement battery that I purchase. So we'll start with the negative terminal, 10mm socket right on the top. We got the new battery. We're going to go ahead and install it. We are 12.65. That's good. And so let's give the car a start and try it again. So by changing the battery, the check engine light went out on its own. There are 0 codes and I didn't have to reset them. So that looks like it's going to do it. New battery was all it was. Sometimes I'm guilty of overthinking the problem and always suspect the worst, right? And really it's just a simple matter of a maintenance item, and in this case a battery. So the old battery was measuring high voltage for some reason. That's a new one on me, and with the voltage being higher than it's supposed to be, maybe that was wreaking havoc on the ECM. The fault's cleared. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll run it, see what happens, and if the problem occurs, we'll have to do some more troubleshooting. But at this point it looks like I think we've got it. So that'll do it for this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.